He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Victor Ostrowski is our guest. The website is thebookpatch.com or ostrowskifineart.com. Former naval commander and then a Mossad commander, case officer, handler, spy master, whatever you want to call it. And I was talking to him during the break, and I said, look, I think Israel does corrupt bad things. They've been caught doing false flags. You know, you've talked about it. And I said, I don't think Israel could carry out 9/11. And he said, well, Israel didn't do it, I can tell you that, but they sure could carry it out. So, whoa, he's got my attention there. I want to hear what he has to say on that subject, and I'm glad that the caller brought up that point. Victor, please enlighten me.
Well, anybody could do it. It was a very simple operation. The point was this, the operation that the Al-Qaeda carried out in taking out the buildings in 9/11 and doing this whole attack was based on a simple, basic thing. And the basic thing was that you were defenseless. You stood there. You had no expectations of it. You didn't have any system to protect you against it. You did not take any measures to stop anything like that. You were not even thinking in that direction. You had a whole system that was built and designed to fight the Soviet Union and to fight other, countries. And here comes a small organization, relatively small, that had trained in the U.S. to fly planes, gets onto an airplane. You did not have a locked door between the front and the back. You go onto any El Al plane, and this was...
No, I understand, Victor, but what I'm saying is, you're looking at this from the way it's projected at us. I'm looking at what, the evidence shows happened on 9/11. Well, the point is, does Israel have... technically, then you're saying a group of Israelis could have gone on, taken over... And,
a group of, let's put it this way, a group of Kurds could have done it.
No, I know, but, Israel doesn't have suicide operators.
Well, you know what? First of all, every country at its own time had somebody who, the first suicide bomber was, Israeli in a way. Samson said, may I die with the Philistines. So, it started somewhere. But the point of it is that to carry out such an operation, you don't need much. And to say that you have to have a whole system in place, when you're talking about, NORAD or whatever, you're talking about some civilian airplanes that are flying in the air out of their lock when nobody at the time was thinking about that being done and that an airplane could actually be used.
Okay, let's go over this briefly. Let me tell you then, and I can send you all this if you want it, because I don't expect everybody to be aware of everything going on. It is confirmed, Colonel Stephen Butler at the Defense Language School, Monterey, California, AP, San Jose Mercury News, and I talked to him on the phone. It is confirmed in Newsweek, everywhere, that these guys, I've interviewed Springman, the head of the visa division. They were ordered to let them in. They were told their terror list is only their cover. They work for us. The CIA was running a drill that day.
They didn't have a terror list at the time.
The CIA did.
That.
The CIA did with the State Department.
Yeah, you know what? Here, I'll make a deal with you. You see, I'm in total disagreement with you. Okay? And I'm allowed to do that. You're the first guy who will say that I'm allowed to have a different opinion than you.
Sure, yeah.
I'm saying, okay, you got my email. Send me the stuff. Let me look at it. I'll come back, and I'll give you my opinion. I may tear everything you say down.
Well, NORAD did stand down, and we do have the tapes of them saying, what's this exercise stuff on my screen?
Absolutely. It makes absolute sense. If that's the case, and if that's there, yeah. Why would they think differently? It's not been done before. You know what? I was on a radio show when my book came out, By Way of Deception, and I was arguing that, some people are defending Israel's acts to the extreme. And I said, what would happen one day if somebody walks up to you at 30,000 feet and puts a gun to your head and says, show me your passport? Now, do you want to have a passport that has a total agreement with everything Israel does, or do you want to have somebody that actually stood up and said something? So this was not something that was not on the minds of people in intelligence services around the world. Israel did not put steel doors in the airplanes because they thought it would be better for the pilots because, women wanted to get to them. There was a reason for that. We all knew that. America decided not to take action, not to protect itself, because it was too costly. because it would take too much money.
Let me expand on that. I mean, they've got naked body scanners in to teach us how to submit.
Now they do. Now they do.
To teach us how to submit to tyranny. Look. The Gulf of Tonkin was staged. That's now declassified. I've got the Army training manuals for captains in Black Ops that have been leaked, which the government admits are real, where they teach our Army captains how to stage terror attacks. Now, you know about false flag. You talked about Israel, Ron.
Absolutely.
So what I'm telling you is, look, now to be clear what you said during the break, though, have you looked at the information about 9/11 having evidence of false flag?
No.
Are you aware that there are police and firemen saying, get back, they're blowing up Building 7, and that BBC reported Building 7 had fallen 25 minutes before it fell?
No. No, I'm telling you right now, no, I don't. But you see, I've been brainwashed, or whatever you want to call it, but I don't believe that the American government, I don't believe that the Israeli government, I don't believe that.
No, I think it's rogue networks within the government structures working together. Look, Cheney...
What would be the point? No.
All right, PNAC, Project for New American Century, September 20th, 2000, said, minus a huge Pearl Harbor catalyzing event, we're not going to be able to launch our Pax Americana world government. We need a giant staged terror attack. We need a terror attack.
You know where all this has a problem? Where I find a problem with the American government supposedly trying to take over everything? If we did, we wouldn't be in such a big debt to China. I mean, look at the situation we're in today. The situation is not of a world leader. The situation we're in today, is as a nation almost at its knees economically to a world that it gave open access to everything it has. If you think there's a problem here, I'll tell you what I think the problem here. I think the problem here is that we have no tariffs. I think that anybody can come to this country, sell whatever they want at whatever price they want, and we cannot.
No, I agree, but that's globalization. The globalists used America to build its empire. Now they've set us up as the boogeyman, and they're going to basically chop us down like wheat in the autumn. Victor Ostrowski, I really appreciate you joining us. And the website is thebookpatch.com. Two interesting, informative books, critically acclaimed, on the inside of the Mossad and the Israeli government. I look forward to having you back in the near future, and we appreciate your insight on the situation with the flotilla. And as that unfolds, you may be back with us next week for a brief interview if you can, okay?
Anytime you want.
Victor, thanks a lot.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Interesting having him on. So we've had people on that believe Israel's the source of all evil. We've had people on who basically love Israel and think it can't do much wrong. We've had people on kind of in the middle of the road like Victor. So we're trying to give a wide view to this as I try to decipher what's going on here for myself. Like I've always said, I can't tell right away what's going on. But give me time, I can tell you. Just like day one, I said, look stage with the underwear bomber on Christmas. And within a month, we knew the State Department was ordered to let him on and protected him, and that was staged. And I'm not sure yet, but I'm getting more and more there that BP was a stage deal to pass carbon taxes. And now we find out that the stock was dumped by Goldman Sachs 2 days before at a record low. I mean, I know how this system works, and I think even intelligent people like Victor, they look at it in a two-dimensional way, but I'm looking at it in a not even a three-dimensional or four-dimensional, but a fifth-dimensional, all these different angles and compartments and, dimensions to it, to really get that full spectrum analysis. That's how we're able to predict things so accurately here.